What is up, everybody? This is Mark and Jeff come to you from 90% Sports, and we are here doing conference previews, and this is our first conference that we're going to hit up.
Conference previews for what? Would that be college football?
You know, college football.
Football.
Football with the W.
Yeah.
New sport taking over America.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the first conference that we're going to get to is going to be the ACC with the defending national champion Florida State Seminoles.
Yes, the Atlantic Coast Conference featuring such teams as Pittsburgh, which is not on the Atlantic Coast, or Tallahassee's not either.
Yeah, that's true.
Neither is Louisville, which just joined the league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So I guess with that being said, let's get into the changes for this year. Yeah, so last year you had two new teams join, Pittsburgh and Syracuse. So what is this year looking like for us, Jeff?
Maryland left to go to the Big Ten, and taking their spot in the Atlantic Division, kind of like, hey, welcome to the league, you're about to get screwed, is Louisville. I mean, you come in and you've got Clemson and Florida State in your division.
Yeah, it's not really the best thing to walk into on your first year,
No.
especially your first year coming into a major conference. I know a lot of people try and rag on the ACC, but now over the past couple of years, Florida State, Clemson, they've been two of the top teams in the nation. So the ACC is starting to finally rebuild itself back up to how it used to be.
People are going to make fun of me for this, but Duke's actually
Yes.
David Cutcliffe's doing a good job. Miami's being Miami right now. I recently went to Baltimore and I got into the airport and it made me laugh because they had this giant banner and it said "Think Big," and I'm just like, you left a division with Florida State to join the new Big Ten East with Ohio State and Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State might not be there now, but what Franklin is doing at Penn State, Maryland doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even know. I mean, they had to have done it because of TV money, because the Big Ten's going to have their big new.
They got the Big Ten network. and all
Yeah.
that,
So,
but
you know, they left for the money,
Yeah.
but the chances of them being successful there probably not going to be that great.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that when we go to the Big Ten conference preview. So we'll get back to the ACC. We're going to go into who is our sleeper teams that we are going to pick for this year, who have a chance at winning the conference. Maybe not the team that we think is going to win the conference, but you know, who's the team that could surprise you this year if it's not winning the conference, having a good year or better than you'd expect.
It's going to be one of my homer picks. One of my homer picks. They have a player who we're going to talk about MVP later, so I won't address that right now. But I think if Will Gardner can step in to the QB1 spot at Louisville and take over for Teddy Bridgewater, especially with Bobby Petrino being back,
Right.
and his offense is just crazy, and quarterbacks love it and are good at it. Running backs are good in it. Wide receivers are good in it. Tight ends are good in it. Everyone, like, they got that former tight end from Florida, Gerald Christian. They've got Devontae Parker. They've got Eli Rogers. And they've got Michael Dyer in the backfield.
Right.
They have a chance to do some damage. And if their defense doesn't fall off too much from last year, they could stop a few people.
They could.
What about you?
For my sleeper team, I'm going to have to go with NC State. They got this transfer, Jacoby Brissett, coming in from Florida. He was a former four-star recruit who went to Florida and then transferred over. And also he has Rashard Smith to throw the ball to. So, I mean, can't complain about that. So
He used to throw the ball to Nick O'Leary.
yeah, he did.
They graduated high school the same year. Dwyer High School.
You know, you gotta switch it up. Like, you can't play with the best players all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta go
You gotta be like,
to another
yo,
school.
I need to go over here.
He's like, I need to show off my talents with people who are not as good. That way I look better. But
Except doesn't always work that way.
but you know, Rashard Smith, he's starting at the Z wide receiver spot, so that'll be a good combo with both of them. So I see them, you know, not winning the conference or anything, but they could have a better year than a lot of people predict. With that being said, let's go to our MVP picks for the conference. We're going to pick one offensive player, one defensive player. Who do you think is going to be the best player in the conference?
On offense or on defense?
Let's start on defense.
I'm going to have to go with my boy number 26, PJ Williams. cornerback at Florida State.
All right. That's a good pick.
Probably going to be the best player in the best defensive backfield in the nation.
My defensive MVP, I'm going to have to go with Mario Edwards Jr. You know,
Kid's a freak.
He's huge, but he's also like extremely fast on defensive line.
And he's just extremely athletic.
Yeah. I mean, dude,
the kid's 295 and he can do a standing backflip.
Yeah. I mean, all the videos of that's just nuts. But I mean, you know, with the leading team in the nation being in the conference, I mean, you're going to have the MVP coming from there, especially when their defense was so dominant last year.
Yeah.
You know, they barely gave up points to anyone except for Boston College and Auburn in the national championship
and
game.
Even by the end of the Boston College game, they figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, after pretty much like the first half, first 3 quarters, somewhere in there, you could tell they figured it out, shut them down. That's going to be my pick for defensive MVP. So with that, we're going to move on to the offensive MVP of the conference. Jeff, what is going to be your pick?
Another one of those homer picks, but I'm actually stepping away from Florida State. I think if Louisville can get past Clemson, they will finish second in the Atlantic Division. And it's going to be because of Devontae Parker, senior wide receiver. Last year, he had 885 yards, 12 touchdowns in the Atlantic Conference, the American Conference. And people want to give that conference crap, and it's not as good, but kid's a freak, and he's got NFL scouts just going nuts already. So I think he can have a really strong year, especially if they manage to make it past Clemson. They will finish second in the Atlantic. They won't go to the championship game, but he'll have a great year.
Right.
They'll get to a good bowl.
With my MVP, I mean, I think we're both kind of staying away from Jameis. I mean, you know he's going to be awesome.
He's the defending Heisman. Defending Davey O'Brien.
Yeah, pretty much every award out there that you can name for quarterback or MVP. So we're going to stay away from that. I mean, that's people's automatic pick. That's what all the major sports writers and all that stuff, that's what they're going to say. So if you go for like a second place or like another player that could contend, I'm actually going to go – I'll still stick with FSU, but it's going to be Carlos Williams because you don't have Freeman there anymore. You don't have Wilder there anymore. You do have some new up-and-coming players that, you know, they'll help him out a little bit to take the load off. But last year –
Dalvin Cook, Pender.
Right. Last year, he only had 91 carries. Like, that's not that much of a load for him. But he averaged 8 yards a carry. Had almost as much rushing yards as Devontae Freeman did, and also had 11 touchdowns.
That is a knock, though. A lot of people say he didn't play most of his time. The other team was already tired. He didn't play much in the first half. He played in the second when the first team defense was winded and whatnot.
Right.
But he's still, like, his first carry went 60 yards.
Yeah.
Like, I was standing in the stands, and I was just like, he's gone.
Yeah. I mean, this dude is a freak. I mean, definitely track material. Like, extremely fast. He's got a lot of power in his running game. Like, he can bulldoze people. But I mean, I think he's really gonna shine this year. I mean, people say that, you know, he didn't go up against the toughest competition or whatever, but they're still Division I athletes. I mean, they're still good players,
and
they might not be great players, but really, if you look at our schedule for next year, we do have some good teams, but we're going to have some teams that aren't that great, and he's going to be able to definitely buff his numbers up for the MVP race.
Yeah, like, he may not have played the toughest competition, but he's got the moves. He's got the speed. The kid is fast.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the attributes to do a lot of good this coming year.
I think the NFL is really going to they're going to look at him and be like, yeah, you hit a lot of people when you were safety, but you didn't get that banged up while you were safety.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Mainly because he didn't play much when he was younger, so he didn't get as many hits in him, and he hasn't played that much at running back, so he's not – the life of a running back is short.
Right.
And he started his life late.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's going to have those – I wouldn't call it fresh legs, but he's going to have fresher legs than some of the other running backs coming out of the class. So when we get to the NFL draft, he's definitely going to have a high stock there. We are to the point, the end of the conference preview. So
yeah, that means
who is going to be your pick to win the conference?
It's really close. I think I got to go with Wake Forest. Nah, Florida State, man. They're They're too good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with FSU too. I know we're FSU fans. But, I mean, looking at the conference, you have Taj Boy leaving from Clemson. You have Duke's quarterback leaving. You have
Duke's offensive coordinator going to Florida.
Yeah, you have multiple teams losing key components to their teams. Sammy Watkins leaving. Like, just all kinds of stuff happening to teams in our division. And I don't really see anyone – I wouldn't say no one could pull an upset on FSU, but I don't see it happening. I wouldn't put my money against FSU in any game this coming year against an ACC opponent.
Yeah. I mean, like, you've got Virginia, who's over in the Coastal Division, and they're continuing to recruit well, but they're getting it done on defense. They just can't get it done on offense. So you can't look at them, even though, God, that one year where I went to the homecoming game and I had to watch that drive come towards the student section.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you're gonna be great on defense, you also have to be great on offense if you're gonna stop this FSU team. I mean, you can be as good on defense as you want, but as they proved in that national championship game last year, you're not gonna be able to stop it for all 4 quarters. You can stop it for a half. You can maybe get lucky and stop it for 3 quarters if they're not on their tip-top game. But, I mean, to stop it for 4 quarters, that's a long time to keep all your concentration, stay focused, not have anyone cramping up. Because, I mean, think about it. One key player, like one key safety, one key cornerback, cramps up, goes off the field. They have the playmakers that they're going to capitalize on that next play, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're not going to stop them on offense. It's kind of we keep talking about Florida State, and I kind of have to as – like 2009 Florida State, when our defense was just, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Definitely. We had to score
a ton
every time. And I remember that NC State game that year. Greg Reed saved us with his just ridiculous punt returns. And we're just like, we're going to lose this game to NC State. Oh, okay, we won. Barely, but we won. Okay.
Yeah.
You just have to score. There's no way you're going to stop this year's Florida State offense.
Definitely.
You just have to hope that you find a way to pick apart the Florida State defense, which is probably even a more daunting task.
Exactly. So, with that being said, that is our ACC conference preview. So, hope we gave you guys some good information that you could be looking for. If you do college football, fantasy football, hopefully we gave you a few players to look out for, and with our sleeper picks, maybe you can get some good bets in next year and win some money or something.
We like being paid back, if you know what I mean. Just look us up.
If you want to do that, that's cool. But for Jeff, I am Mark, and this is 90% Sports, and we'll go on to the next conference.
10% Ducks.